The book that we're going to be reading today is called Ichiro Suzuki. We're going to be learning about the history of the player Ichiro Suzuki and his rise to fame in baseball in Japan. I want you guys to look through the book and take a minute to preview all the different illustrations and text features that you find. As you look at them, I want you to begin thinking about predictions that we can make while we read. Think about your previous knowledge of baseball and how that might relate to what happens within the book. And if you know anything about the player Ichiro Suzuki, try and think about connections that might run throughout the book. Now that we've finished previewing, what are some things that you noticed about the text features in the book, and what predictions did you make based off of them? Good job! There may be only a few new words in the book that we're going to take a moment to look at and explore together, but there might be other challenging words that you might face, and I want you to remember all the different strategies that we've learned so far when approaching a new and confusing word. One of the ones that we've practiced a lot is trying to reread the sentence looking for clues, or relating the words that we're reading to previous readings that we've read about. In this book, some of the words that we're going to encounter are singles, Japan, season, and championship. The word single is a common baseball term that typically means when someone hits the ball and they can move to the first base. If we've ever had a friend at a baseball park, or if we've ever played baseball ourselves, then we might have seen us go to the first base or seen a friend go to the first base. When they only move to one base, that's called a single. The word Japan is a country on the globe that we can actually look at. It's in Asia, which is one of our 7 continents. We might know some friends that are from Japan, and if we look at the globe, we can see how far away that we are from Japan. The word season refers to a specific and set time period. Sports take place during different seasons, which means during time periods people can be seen participating in the sport, while when it's not in season, people aren't participating in the sport. We can't go play certain sports depending on the level. Rather, so we determine the best time to play them. So each sport is given a different season. Baseball is given the fall season, which means during fall, we can see baseball being played actively, which means people are participating in games against each other, people are participating in championships, which is our next word, and they're playing the sport actively. When it's not in season, sometimes you can see people still playing the sport, but you're not going to necessarily see championships being played, and it's not the sport that's necessarily in season then. So it's not the active sport. The last word is championship, which refers to a big competition that a lot of people play in a sport that takes place. People participate in a series of games to determine who the best team is. You may have seen one of your friends participate in a championship game, or you may participate in one yourself. It's important to think back to when we participated in championship because we can see how happy it makes us when we win those games, or how much we learn when we lose them. We might have seen a friend win or lose them, and might have seen how much they've grown throughout the season. Typically, a season can end in a championship game to determine who the best during that season was, or who made the most growth during that season. If we look at the book, we can try to find times where each of these words are being used. Everyone look in their book and point to a time when they see one of the words we just talked about and read off the sentence so that we can see the context that it's being used in. This is important because if we read the sentence and see the context, then we can see the word being used in a sentence and can connect that definition to the context. We can see that some words are used many times throughout the story, while others are only seen once or twice. We can refer back to the definitions we talked about whenever we see these words to help us understand what is happening. Just remember to reread the sentence if we don't remember, or try and relate it to something that we might know. Now I want everyone to turn to their partner and work to explain each of the words that we went over. Remember, those words are singles, Japan, season, and championship. This will allow us to have a deeper understanding of these words when we approach them in the text. If you can think of another example of the word, then share that with your partner as well. After everyone is finished sharing, make sure to raise your hand and I'll prompt you with what to do next.